Hey guys, this is our latest build. It is for 7 dogs. It's the tour we've been promising. I'm going to take you on the extended tour. I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll start on the outside and then work our way in. So let's go around the back and then we'll get into a little bit of what the client asked us for and then how we accomplished it as we get inside the van and the air conditioner. Real quick, we got shore power hookups. We got the cool hubs. They're factory hubs, but they're the upgraded ones. Bunk slider windows. We installed these rear windows as well. You've got a bug wall here that we put in. This is a large crate. One thing we had to do, for whatever reason, Ford puts their tire dropper for the spare tire in the floor of the van. Don't know why they don't put it in the back like everybody else does, but anyhow, we had to cut a hole through this and then finish that out to provide access to that in case they get flat tire or whatever. You see electric box in here. This is our shore power hookup. We leave all our fuses and our on-off switch here. This is 800 amp hours. These two are just sort of posts that allow you, if you needed to put a trickle charge to it, to wake up a battery if it went to sleep. Main breaker there. Not a ton to see. With 7 crates, things are packed in here, so not unzipping this, you'd have better access. You've got another shower back here with quick connect. There's your fill hose. That's your fill. You got a water heater and 23 gallons water back there. And I'm gonna shut this so it starts getting cooler inside. Fiamma awning. We installed this slider door window. It's the first time we've ever installed it. I'll show you from the inside, but it's really cool. It opens both ways, the glass does, and then it has screens and shades inside as well. You see the awning light we install on most vans up there for outdoor lighting when you're hanging out at a campsite or whatever. Again, here's the bug wall. Coming inside, you got the lagoon table. It's out of oak. We put this cool little epoxy pour of Aussie there for the client. She's got 6 Aussies, as we're about to see. S-bar heater is here. This is the mount for that lagoon table. So I guess come on in and we'll get on with it. All right, so for a lot of you, if you've seen the last video we made of the 3 Great Dane crates and the Sprinter, the long extended Sprinter, that is probably the most we've put in terms of dog mass and huge crates, so that was a challenge. This was a challenge of another type. This owner wanted to get 6 dogs in here and a 7th if they could. And the reason for the 6 initially is that she has Aussies and she does agility. So we knew we could do that. And then at the towards the end of design conversation, she said, you know, if I could put this 7th crate in here, that would mean that I could, and I'm sure I'm about to tell you something that you guys all deal with. When you go away, you basically have to not only take care of the 4 or 5 dogs you take with you to the dog show or to the agility event or whatever you're doing, but you also have to get a sitter or whatever to take care of the dogs back at home. Sometimes that's an unlucky spouse. Other times you have a dog nanny, whatever. But this was really cool in this situation because getting that 7th dog in here, if we could, was going to allow the owner of this van to basically leave town, leave for as long as she wants, not have to worry about dogs back at home. She's got everything she needs to go on the road as long as she wants. She's also got the human comforts here for living. So we're going to go through all that. But first of all, let's just talk about the spatial challenges, because that's what we deal with on every one of these vans, where particularly the ones that have, you know, a bunch of large dogs or a few XL dogs or, you know, 10 to 15 very small dogs, is where are we going to put all the crates? And then what are the human needs? What are they asking for? What are sort of the must-haves? And then what are the things they'd like if they can get them? So we usually start with the bed because it's huge. It takes a lot of space. And then the crates. And then if we can get those located, the rest of it we can generally figure out. So she wanted a queen bed, which, you know, the first question we ask always is, how tall are you? As long as you're not, you know, over 5'10", we can generally fit you sideways in a queen bed without the flare space. So that's an advantage. We put all our guts to the system back down under the bed. Water tank goes on this side wall. 23 gallons is pretty standard. We can do more, but that's what we standard do. The electric box, which is pretty well covered, has 800 amp hours, which is a good amount. Should allow for a really good air conditioner runtime, depending on what climate you're using it in, you could get anywhere from 5.5 to 8 hours off that. There are a lot of variables in that, so we don't sort of give a guaranteed amount, just sort of projections. Where should we begin? So we have this installed. We've taken care of the electric. We've got the water taken care of. It also has a water heater back there with a rear sprayer so they can shower out the back or wash dogs out the back. Now let's get onto the crates. So like always, we ask, what are the minimum dimensions that your dog can go in comfortably? Most of the time, this is a little smaller than you would put in like a standard household crate or something like that. One, it prevents the dog from becoming a projectile if there is an accident, but also it just, we want to maximize the floor space and open space as well as the space inside the crate for the dog. So being able to turn around comfortably, that kind of thing, is probably the biggest driving factor in that. But so I got the dimensions from Jen on this. I don't remember what exactly they are. I can measure them, but full-size crates for Aussies. There's 4 we put up here, but I should start back here. I'm going to jump up here real quick so that I can show you. One of the things we designed early on with TNC crates is this, I can't reach the lever, but this sliding divider wall. You just pull it that way. Yeah. And it goes that way. It allows you to load 2 dogs into one single crate box through one door because you have this limited space. So not enough room for 2 full doors. Then you get them loaded. That side, pull that shut. You've now got 2 dogs in here and you're ready to go. And then you've got your other 4 crates here. One of the other things we do is, when we're pinched for space and we're, especially if we're in a situation where we're not sure if we're going to be able to fit all the dogs or not, we get the crate size for like, your standard Aussie. What do you want? And then we'll say, okay, well, do we typically have 2 bitches or a puppy with us so that 1 or 2 crates we can pinch. In these, I believe these are a little smaller than these, so you'd put your bigger males in these crates here up front, and then smaller dogs back here, and then I'll get to the one in the back in a minute. These are just standard crates. TNC does give us the ability to size our doors and put them basically anywhere on any side. We can add doors, but yeah, nothing fancy about these. But that got us 6 of our dogs. And then the other thing that I had mentioned to you was that 7th dog. It's an older dog, and this is terrible, but I think it's a German Shepherd, but it might have been a Golden. I've got a lot of Goldens lately, so I'm getting confused. But anyhow, and so that was the request, is there's any way we could get this back there? And, so one of the compromises we made in getting it back there, we were able to get it back there. You saw it a second ago. It really fills up the space. It allows easy loading from the back. At one point, we do like the dogs to be able to load from either side. I had designed with TNC a sliding door in the back of this crate on this side that was going to give access to that rear crate. At some point in the process, some things just get too cute, and I decided it was too much. I talked to the client, and we eliminated that. But that was something we considered, and TNC was willing to do. Anyhow, so that's how we got the crates in here, and then it really is cool. We've got systems dialed in for our electric panels, our kitchens, our nightstands, and how much extra storage we can get, and all the features we can add in after we've put in 7 crates. So in this case, you've got a full kitchen. You've got the Vitrifrigo here, which we like, which has fridge and freezer. Looks very sexy in the stainless steel. We put gold hardware all over. This gold hardware is popular right now, so it's interesting as we build these things, we see the trends come and go, find the color of the year, whatever. That was in our last van. This color scheme we kind of made up with the client's approval. It's green, it's pale yellowy, white oak. And so we did have a moment of panic at one point because we had painted these walls, and in the fluorescent lights in the shop, they looked electric. And we thought we were going to have to repaint everything. And then, at some point we took them outside, we looked at them in the natural light. And then also when you blend them with the other colors in the wood, they have a way of sort of neutralizing something that was like too much. And I think it looked really good in the end. It looks good. So that was fun to be able to design that. It was nice to do something that wasn't gray blue. So That was a plus. What else do I have to go over? I'm going to do heating and cooling. We have the 13,500 BTU AC. It's a Rec Pro. You know, one thing on these is it's recommended that you put the soft start in here. Sometimes we do if a client requests it, but we did a lot of testing on these, and we found that, you know, the MultiPlus 3000 that we use has a little bit higher initial load rating than that 3000, which fits well within the parameters for managing this. So we haven't found that we need the soft start at this point. We sometimes put it in there, but it does a great job. You know, our idea is that it's also going to put out more air when you need it than the 9,000 BTU, which we had been using. And it's also, you know, if it doesn't need it, it's going to work a little bit more efficiently, be on less, and so it's going to last longer. For ventilation, we have the Max Fan 7500. It has the either direction intake or exhaust. Has a rain sensor, of course, operates on remote. Both those things operate on remote. Microwave back here. That's cool. And then we've got two, these are push to open, like I'm new around here. Two drawers here. And then, toilet in here. This is our Dometic. We usually go with the 2.5 gallon because what our thought is you can have extra storage, but we encourage people to empty them frequently and early so that you're not carrying around such a heavy weight when you have to do it. They do have a 5 gallon. It takes up a little more room. It sits an inch or two higher, but you know, in our view, it's not worth it to have that extra capacity, because that means you have to carry that extra capacity to dump it out or whatever. So we like the 2.5 gallon Dometic. And then inside here, the client will arrange it sort of how they want, but we've got shower heads that have a quick connect on here. They just plug in like that, hot and cold water, and then disconnect is a pull.
It's like an air hose, you push back.
Push back. Again, I'm new around here. And control panels. I don't know how to show you this without getting back up here. You can probably talk about control panels. We got, Tyler, we got...
All right, so we've got our AC breaker over here from Blue Sea. It's breakers just like you see in your house. Control everything in here, from air conditioner, water heater, and all your outlets. DC switch panel that's got 2 USBs, voltmeter, and the switch for your water pump. Dimmer switches for front and rear lights. It's a remote multi-control, so that way you don't have to go to the factory to get your inverter on or figure out what it's doing. This will tell you everything it's doing right here. S-bar heater controller, and then an outlet. So the S-bar heater is underneath the passenger seat right here. That's the vent for it. You can use it as a heater or as a fan. That runs off of the van's factory gas tank, so you never have to worry about using your electric up to heat the van.
All right, cool. And then I guess the only other thing I didn't show you was the sink here with the pull-away sprayer. It's got pressure water, of course, hot and cold. I don't think the water's on, but anyhow, pressure water there, drains to a 10-gallon tank. What else?
Windows.
Windows, all right. We installed those. Those are your regular windows in the back. We also put in the bunk sliders. You've seen those before. Those open, have screens that go both directions.
And why do we put those bunk sliders in, Steve?
Oh, I remember. We can crack those and we turn on our Max Fan, and with just those two openings, we can create a serious vortex of wind coming through here. Draft, you might say. Tyler might say. And it pulls wind across the bed here. Then the window over here, this is the first time we've installed this. We think it's pretty cool. What this does is it opens, we've installed sliding door windows before, just not this one. What's cool about this is it's got the sliding windows like that. They open either way. There's another one over here if you want. This is in the way right now. We could take that up, but we're not gonna. And then in addition to that, let me show you. We also have screens and a shade here, so they're magnetic. So that's the shade in operation. Magnetize this down, screen and shade, or you can do half and half. You can do what you like. A little bit bulky, but definitely worth it for the functionality. And we showed you the bug wall. Am I done now?
I think so.
I think that's everything. Yeah, this was a really cool build. One other thing is that we've had this van for a long time. Not actually the van. We've had the build sitting in our shop. This was the first time we really got hit with supply chain in a big way. We had our second van we ever built, we got hit on supply chain stuff with crates, waiting for them to come from Germany for about, it was like 2 or 3 months. They were sitting in Long Beach, and anyhow. But on this van, when we thought we were kind of had the COVID stuff done and behind us, Ford sometime spring of last year just sort of stopped making vans for everyone except their large business contracts, and so the fleet vehicles. So we had been ordering a lot of Ford high roof transits, always this van. We like the Avalanche Gray unless the client wants to change it. And this was kind of our standard van that we were ordering. We were signing clients to them as they come in. And we had 2 orders on the way, and then we just stopped seeing vans. And so these vans, the orders came in, the jobs came in May. That's when we went under contract to do them. And then by September, we still didn't have the vans, and I started to say, hey, what's going on? And I couldn't get clear answers. And so at that point I asked, and this is just behind the scenes stuff, I guess, for van builder, or for those of you who wonder about what happens at the van companies and why things take so long sometimes, or some things are out of our control. So we waited till September, and then I figured I had a decision to make, and I had talked to the 2 clients. When we stopped getting the transits, I had started switching new clients over to Sprinter and just telling them we were having trouble. And then we had 2 clients, both had full builds and transits, and they were assigned to the vans, and I put it to them in September. I said, listen, you can switch over to Sprinter and we can do everything there, or you can, I don't know when transit's going to come back online. But so one of those clients switched over. We ended up delivering that, I think, when was it, Tyler? Like back in October or November. So we were able to get her on the road pretty quickly, and she just got a Sprinter that was the equivalent of the Transit. This van finally showed up in, I think, in May or April or something. At that point, a few vans before this one, we had gotten our CNC dialed in to the point where we could cut out all the walls, the ceilings, build the cabinets, the upper cabinets, and the kitchen. So, we had just done enough of these and had our files sort of dialed in enough that we actually built this whole van without the van here, had it in the shop. I'd rewind. The client said they wanted Ford for the reasons they wanted it. And so they said, we'll wait. We're happy to wait. We want it right. So anyhow, so we waited, but we built the entire interior and had it just sitting in our shop. So we were probably done this van in, I think, January or something, and just had it kind of stored there. And then finally, when the van came in May, all we had to do was we weren't building anything, we were just installing, which was kind of fun because it all came together really quickly. We also ordered the crates in May. We hadn't ordered them before that just because, at some point we run out of space if we have all this stuff sitting around. So the crates were the last thing to come in. They came in about 2 weeks ago. So that, we stuck those in here, and then this one is now ready to go. The client has been incredibly patient, one of our favorite clients to date, but really excited to get it up to her. I'm about to take this on delivery. That's something we do for a lot of clients, is we'll either pick up or deliver depending on what they need. But I'm excited to meet her dogs. That ought to be fun. I'm excited to get out of heat because I'm going to Erie, Pennsylvania. And yeah. Anything you want to add to this, Tyler?
I'm happy to see it go. It's been taking up floor space for quite some time.
Do you want to say nice things about your boss?
Yeah, he's such a great guy. He's so nice. He, always makes sure that we have work ready for us, and all of our supplies are there, and occasionally buys us lunch, but only if it's the food that he likes.
Why do you sound like you're 10? All right.